Hi, good evening. This is John Hawkins with Junior with Gateway Counseling Center. This is our Tuesday night Facebook Live. We are a counseling center here in Boynton Beach, Florida, and we do individual, couples, family therapy for all mental health issues, relationships. I'm a trauma specialist. I also do peak performance coaching, couples therapy, and work with all types of addictions, compulsive behaviors. It's one of the things I'm going to talk to you about tonight. We have been here for about 10 years, and we're on a mission to help as many people as possible. So we're doing all kinds of stuff like this, and before this I was a social media ghost. So for the last year we've been on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and whatever else we can get on to keep trying to spread the message of getting people accurate information, helpful things that hopefully can have an impact in, your life or other people's lives. You can reach me throughout the week at jonh@gatewaycounselingcenter.com. I will respond to your questions during the week. You can question me on Facebook Live on Tuesday nights at 8:15. We're here every Tuesday night, and whether it's about addiction or again relationships or peak performance. You can also follow me on the Key podcast on iTunes, Google, Spotify, a few other different ones there throughout the week. That one is dedicated to really helping people achieve their peak potential, their highest level performance. I'm obsessed with this thing called flow. If you'd like to know more about that, email me, hit me up at jonh@gatewaycounseling.com. So tonight I want to talk to you about something that in working so many years at treatment centers in the addiction field, of all kinds of things, whether it's drugs and alcohol, prescription medications, sex, pornography, gambling, eating disorders, is what I want to really emphasize tonight is the problem is not the problem. And what I mean by that is so many approaches and so many people are so focused on their problem behavior, whether it's binge eating or again substances. And over the years, so many approaches have focused on changing behavior, and the behavior is not the problem. It's the solution to the problem. It causes problems, I'll give you that, but it's not the core issue. The core issue is things like trauma and an inability to deal with your emotions and attachment wounds. All this kind of stuff is what's really underneath all these things. So what happens is you focus on the problem. Like one of the biggest ways to do relapse from drugs and alcohol is have this adamant commitment that I'm never going to use drugs and alcohol again. I'm so focused on drugs and alcohol. And you could sit in groups and in treatment, 12-step meetings, and just talk about substances and alcohol. It's like, and it's just like makes me want to pull my hair out sometimes. I mean, I would remember talking one time to a big group of guys in a treatment center, and one of the clients was getting discharged, and he's just talking about how much he wants to get high, and he's so afraid of getting, and everybody's trying to talk him out of getting high. And I'm like, interrupts the group, and I'm like, this is not about, the issue is not him wanting to get high. The issue is he's scared to death right now about leaving and facing some of the things he's going to face, so then he thinks about getting high. If you want to really help him deal with the fears he has around all the stuff he has to face once he leaves here, not just about this. And so yes, there needs to be sometimes when somebody's use or behavior is so out of control, you have to do things to get that stabilized. But the problem is not the problem. The problem is not alcohol, the problem is not drugs, the problem is not, again, pornography. That's the solution people are using for the real problem. And so often that doesn't get addressed. And when you just focus on behavior and you don't get to the real problem, you're always going to fail. And then you feel more guilt and shame and discouragement, and people around you are like, see, they're not really serious about making changes, and you could be very serious about making changes. But, and that's where working with somebody like myself or, a therapist or somebody who's got experience in trying to help you. Hi, Andrea, how are you? To get down to even depression, anxiety, things like that, people come in, they think that's their core issue. And it's almost always forms of different types of trauma. And so people, I can't tell you, I'm in 2 new clients this week. where they feel like I've never been through anything traumatic, because they look at it as I wasn't raped, I wasn't in a car wreck, I wasn't shot, you know. And but a trauma really, and I've talked about this definition before, is any time we have unwanted emotions in the face of aloneness or helplessness. And the reason being why that's defined for me best as a trauma is that's going to trigger disassociation. So when we have those overwhelming unwanted feelings and we're helpless or powerless to deal with them, we can't access secure connection or secure attachment. Fight or flight doesn't do anything. So the brain will trigger a release of internal opiates to kind of split off what we can't manage. And now that stays frozen in our nervous system and body. It gets triggered, causes us to get dysregulated, and then drives these other behaviors. Like, that's in a nutshell what happens. And so to really heal from that and break out of any compulsive behavior addiction, you have to change your nervous system and your brain, and then get the developmental capacity to deal with your emotions and connect securely with other people. And there's all kinds of blocks and impediments to that. But all these other things, like I said, are the solutions, or the attempted solutions to what the real problem is, which is what I just mentioned, you know, feelings of isolation, loneliness, you know, different forms of trauma. So your depressive anxiety symptoms are, you know, manifestations of that. And so, you know, you go to see somebody like myself, a physician, and they just diagnosed you as anxiety and depression and give you things to manage your symptoms, but they don't, you know, often get to the core issue behind those symptoms, because there could be 100 different things for 100 different people. So remember that if you're trying to make any changes in some of your behavior is not the problem. Again, it creates problems, but it's not the problem. Get to the core issue, or get help getting to the core issue of what's the real problem that I'm using the behavior to you know, medicate or manage, so that I can get real resolution. And I'm telling you, once you do, the problems take care of themselves. You know, stop pulling leaves off a tree and watching them grow back and getting frustrated. Really get to the root of the tree so you can wipe it out, and then you don't have to worry about the leaves anymore. So once again, you can reach me at jonh@gatewaycounseling.com. Follow us on Facebook. We're here every Tuesday night doing a Facebook Live at 8:15. We're at Gateway Center on Instagram, Gateway Counseling Center on YouTube, and we have the Mind Zone group on Facebook, where you can interact with other people that follow us. If you found any of this useful or beneficial, please forward it on to anybody that can use it, and then you guys can be a help in helping us help other people and fulfill our mission of helping as many people as we possibly can. So have a great week. I'll see you guys next Tuesday night at 8:15. Send me your questions once again, and you won't have to wait till Tuesday. I'll respond to those throughout the week there. All right, have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday night.